I 24F found out my best friend 24F had time with my boyfriend 26F. I'm upset and can't believe it. I don't know where to begin. I feel so embarrassed coming here and asking for advice. My boyfriend Steve and I have been dating for over a year and a half. I met him in one of my upper-level classes 2 years ago. At the time he was finishing up his degree, before moving on and working on his master's. Since we started talking, seeing each other, and dating casually, I really loved our entire relationship. Steve and I had a lot of similar interests, which included traveling. We did a small trip to South America a couple months ago for a few weeks, Peru and Chile. We had an amazing time. It was once we got back from our trip that I saw our relationship in a whole different way. We traveled well together, and bonded in a new way. I knew I was in a great relationship. I thought we had a great relationship, until I got some news a few days ago. 3 days ago, I went over to drop a MacBook charger over at my best friend's house, Chanel. Chanel and I have been best friends since we were in high school from the age of 16 years old. I have always considered her to be my number one and closest person in my life. I have noticed that the past 6 months we haven't hung out in the same capacity that we usually have. Both of us have been busy with our lives, school, work, relationships, etc. But I kinda got the feeling after this past year of university around April, that she was starting to drift. She had a steady relationship with her ex that lasted under a year. He cheated on her with a coworker, and the rest is history. They broke officially around the end of January. As I went over to drop off her extra charger that she borrowed, I talked with her mom for a bit. Chanel ended up getting called in to pick up an extra serving shift at the restaurant she has worked at during her degree. Her mom wanted to talk to me about a few things. I was puzzled. Chanel's mom was always really outgoing and funny. We had known each other for over 8 years at least. But she wanted to have a serious talk. Chanel's mom, Karen, went on to tell me that she saw Steve and Chanel sneak around the back of the house about a month or so ago. Karen went on to explain that she noticed this happening 2 other times. At first, she thought we were all hanging out. But Karen told me that she got a weird gut feeling on this situation. She told me that I should talk to Steve and Chanel ASAP. Steve and I were supposed to go out for dinner last night. He picked me up, and off we went. I felt really gross and humiliated the entire time we were out. We ate dinner, had a couple drinks, but we didn't talk much. Steve kept asking me all night what was the matter. I told him nothing. Finally, when we got back to my place, we sat in my room and I asked him, and told him what Chanel's mom Karen told me. He didn't answer. In fact, he went pale white. That gave me the answer I needed. I broke down and Steve tried to comfort me. I didn't want him touching me. I didn't even want to hear it. I told him to leave, but I basically had to force him to leave. I tried calling Chanel and texted her that I needed to talk to her. I got no response. Not one. Basically, 2 of the closest people I have had in my life betrayed me. This is so terrible and I feel so shitty. I have no one right now. Sorry for all of the grammar and title mistakes. Redditor's reaction story 2 after. Redditor 1, wow, Chanel's mom did you a solid beyond what any normal person would do. She's the hero in this story. But I think that this story might have a very shitty middle. But a happy ending. Dumb Steve. And your ex-best friend. These 2 people betrayed your trust and showed their true colors. You will never have self-respect if you let these 2 people stay in your life. You didn't do anything to deserve what happened and you deserved a lot more from both of them. So, in short, start over. This is your chance to find 2 better people in your life. I would personally make sure Steve came and got his stuff. Or, you got your stuff and moved out before Monday. And I would block all contact from him. I would simply never speak to Chanel again and send Karen flowers thanking her for saving you from her daughter and a horrible relationship. Redditor follow-up. I like the idea of sending Karen flowers. She's got to be hurting, too. I'm sure she didn't raise her daughter to be a selfish woman who breaks up someone else's relationship, because that's what Steve and Chanel are, selfish. They didn't care about what their actions would do to you, they just wanted what they wanted. You can do better, up. Redditor 2. I would go Steve, to be honest. He doesn't deserve any sort of closure. I'm sorry this happened to you, up. Cut them both out of your life. Let mutual friends know what happened, so that they know who they're dealing with. Redditor follow-up. I agree that he doesn't deserve closure. If I were up, I would do what was best for me, not necessarily what was worst for him. If that is ghost, then by all means go ahead. Redditor 3. 1. Cut all contact with both of them right now. Don't tell them you're cutting contact, just do it. They need no explanation from you. 2. Buy Karen flowers or a thank you card, or even a bottle of wine or beer. You know her best. She really did you a favor that not many people would have done. You owe her that. 3. You need to tell mutual friends what happened. As many as you can, but confide to them from a place of hurt and friendship. You need to do this because I would not put it past your ex-best friend and ex-boyfriend to lie, but you'll also find from your friends support and empathy. If they don't, then you know they're not your friends. But tell people your side of the story. It will help to talk about it, and you'll find friends who support you. You're not alone in this. Also tell your family. You need all the support you can get right now. 4. Focus on yourself. Cry all you want. Eat whatever you want. Binge watch sappy movies on Netflix. Whatever. And when you're done and feeling a little better, you won't feel much better, but you'll feel a little better. Start hanging out with friends and family. Start forcing yourself to get out of the house. You'll literally have to force yourself. I've been in your situation. Go to the gym, go shopping, volunteer at the Humane Society with kitties and puppies, hang out with friends at every opportunity, and at the end of the day, it's okay to just cry. Day by day you'll start to feel a tiny bit better. 5. Absolutely. Never. Talk to these two people again. Never. Ever. Lots of hugs. And you're not alone. Absolutely do not feel embarrassed. Feel angry, feel upset, feel hurt. But do not feel embarrassed. You have no reason to. You did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. The embarrassment is on them. 100%. You've got this, lady. You can do this. Redditor follow-up. Spot on advice. Hate to brag, but it happened to me too. I was 21, so a little younger than Op. I focused on my coursework at the time and later on my career. I would like to make an amendment to your 5. I never talked to him since, but I did talk to her a few times. The last time 3-4 years after the incident, was to tell her that I had just gotten married and that I was accepted into an awesome graduate program. I knew she wanted to go to grad school too, but she hadn't done anything to apply yet. So I would talk to her, just to brag about how awesome my life is. She told me that we're together for about a year, that he hurt her just as bad as he hurt me. It felt good to hear. Redditor 4. Count your blessings that you found out at 24 and not later on in life that your friend's a home wrecker. Cut them out. Story 2. My husband wants me to quit my job now we have children and he makes enough money. I love my work and the thought of being a housewife is torture to me. If I don't quit, he's leaving me. For anonymity I can't go into details, but my husband 34 meters has developed something in IT that's well known and it made him rich. I 38F am a chef and I make probably 1/100 of what he does. It doesn't matter for me however because I love my job. We have a great life together. We had our first child, a baby girl 3 years ago and our twin boys are 9 months old. I have a few months left of my maternity leave, and with the country closing up again because of the new Omicron variant, I started getting worried that my workplace won't take me back. I voiced my worries to my husband a couple of days ago and he just shrugged and said it's not like we needed the money. I was confused and told him that I knew that. It wasn't about the money. He just shrugged. I was a bit annoyed tbh because I thought he didn't think it a big deal that I became out of work. Yesterday, I was still thinking about it, so I decided to talk to him again. He was confused and told me that I should instead be happy that I could spend more time with my babies. And he asked me why I insisted on working when we have 3 small children and he made enough money for both of us. He didn't like me working 4 or 5 evenings a week, including 1-2 weekends a month. I told him that I love my job and that I'm good at it. I have been doing it for almost 20 years now, and that just the thought of not doing anything for the rest of my life is suffocating. He was visibly upset by then and he accused me of loving my job more than my babies and him. I could always cook at home for the family, and if I was worried I would lose my independence, he could transfer the same amount I earned from my job to my private account monthly. I started crying and he kissed and hugged me and told me that he loved me, but he has been thinking of this since our girl was born and he didn't like me coming home late at night. So I needed to choose between my job or being a family. I was startled. Did he mean it as an ultimatum? He did. He actually wants me to be a housewife or we go our separate ways. I went to my mom's place first thing this morning. She listened to me talking and crying, but when I finished she wasn't indignant on my behalf, like I expected. She was silent for a while and then she asked me to think carefully about my next move. If we got divorced, I need to think about my babies. I will never be able to give them the life their dad is giving them, and I might lose them because of it. Is it worth it to change their lives so drastically and have them live in 2 separate houses? All that for a job. I have worked my whole adult life, and I just could see this as an early retirement. Many dreamed of this, why couldn't I enjoy it? I wasn't expecting my mom saying these things. She's always been this strong, independent woman who raised us to be independent and taught me to never rely 100% on anyone other than myself. Hearing her say all that made me question my feelings. Before I met her, I was totally sure I was right being hurt and angry, but now I think maybe I'm overreacting and that my husband's request wasn't that unreasonable. But if that's the case, why do I feel like my heart is swollen in my throat? Why does it feel like he made this ultimatum because he knew he has power and he's using it? Throw any suggestion or advice my way, and please be honest, not rude. Honest, because I feel I'm wronged here and I'm having a hard time thinking from my husband's perspective. Story 3. I broke up with my cheating boyfriend and left him crying and begging. I 22 have found out my boyfriend 24 of almost 3 years cheated on me for the 4th time and lied about it. I only found out about it when I saw him add this girl on Instagram, and because of my trust issues with him leading me to message her and ask. She was completely clueless that he even had a girlfriend. Some backstory: I started dating him in 2019 and had pretty good relationship up until March of 2021. Before that I thought he was the most loyal person I could ever meet. I never doubted him. He broke up with me because his parents didn't want him to marry a girl from different caste than them. Or so I thought was the reason for our breakup. Turns out he had been cheating on me all along. He hooked up with a random girl from his college initially in our relationship and defended himself by saying we were just starting to date at that time. Later he flirted and talked on calls with a girl he met online playing games together. When we first broke up, I was in a bad place mentally as well as health-wise. He left me when I was bedridden and needed him the most. But we got back together in September 2021, and that's when he told me all of this. I forgave him and gave him another chance as I still loved him. But he never put efforts in helping me overcome my trust issues and insecurities. He kept adding random girls on Instagram and never shared his password with me. I just needed it to put my mind on ease for a month. Things were fine between us up until now. I decided one chance is enough and asked him to meet. I showed him all the recordings between him and the girl. I cried, he apologized and asked for another chance. The 3 years we were together, I had never seen this man crying, but when I told him I was leaving, he started crying right in front of me. It was painful to watch him that way. He was out of control. He cried so much that he was burning with fever. So this is where I feel I might be wrong. I left him crying. I broke up and left him in that condition. And now I feel awful. Should I have given him another chance? I still do love him. Peace. We do not have a future together. I will marry someone else in 2-4 years. So will he. Since we are Indian, our marriages will be arranged. Peace. My parents were never against our marriage. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, you did the right thing. He only cried because he got caught and didn't have a backup anymore. Focus on yourself and delete and block him from your life. Deep down, he'll never change even if he gets married. I hope you stay strong and feel better soon too, Op. Op answer, I do feel better, so much better now. He really did thought I'd never leave. Redditor 2, 4th time? Respect yourself next time to break things off permanently after the first time. Op answer, the first time I found out, he manipulated me into thinking he cheated because of situation, and it wasn't technically cheating. I gave him one chance only, that too at that time I was very unstable physically and emotionally. I was sick and I needed his love and support. I found out about the other 2 times recently. Redditor 3, 4 times? Come on now, crybaby isn't crying and begging because he cares. He is upset he forgot caught and is now losing his for sure thing you. What a pathetic loser. Don't give in unless you want to be cheated on 5 times. Redditor follow-up, your profile pic tells me you already know, the 4th time spelt doom for the relationship. Redditor 4, is this a joke? You literally showed us how he's Garabe and a disgusting individual that does not love or respect you, and you ask if he deserves another chance? I mean, do you like being in a relationship where your parent does not love or respect you and will literally waste your time for years? It's the same answer to the question. I'm not sure what the answer to that question for you is, but I recommend blocking him. Op answer, maybe more than going back to him. I feel bad about the situation I left him in. He was literally on my foot begging me to forgive him. I feel bad I left and did not turn back.